So that is the Flounder Pounder with Pip Thompson and Karen Wakelin, obviously an issue off the line, and a gentle park up onto the bank. So not a good way to start qualifying round number 3 for the Group B pairing of Pip Thompson and Karen Wakelin.
Save your sound effects, mate. Wop, wop, wop.
Yeah, that's. You got to put the extra wah in there. Wah, 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 wah.
Oh,
that
sorry.
means an extra wah
Just,
in the middle.
You know, now I did caught up with these two yesterday afternoon where they were sitting on the bank having a lazy water, and they actually gave me permission. As you can see, I've written in my notes here, mate, we are allowed to refer to them as the bitches, because now there's a story. So I don't mean to say that offensively. They attended the Elton John concert at the Mission just recently, and they had T-shirts made that officially said the bitches are back. So,
well, interestingly, it comes from the Bitches box from that cartoon
Correct.
strip. So they used to race a boat called the Bitches box based off the cartoon.
Correct.
So actually, what we might do is. Well, they're coming back under their own power, so I think that is a wonderful way to get back, because we don't want to see them out for the end of the day. I'm just trying to find a nice little sound effect, and I'll come up to it next time Pip Thompson and Karen Wakelin come out. I'll play this sound effect in relation to the Bitches box, the boat they used to race before they got onto the Flounder Pounder. And it's actually quite funny because they have given us the okay. And as you said, you know, we don't want people stressing out and thinking that we're being rude or anything like that, because the girls have fully endorsed all of these sorts of things. But we now go to Sam Tweedy in the Dilemma, and they are heading out onto track now. Want to get some news out of the Flounder Pounder. So here we go. Sam Tweedy and Felicity Bates flick out on track at the moment. So in their first 2 qualifying rounds, they were quite slow and really starting to pick up a little bit of pace. Into the all-important hairpin. Sam Tweedy, the big back off there as well. So that's very well done, because some of these guys and girls getting to that hairpin, they come in way too hot. The exit is slow. They bog the boat down. There are 2 ways of doing it. Go in there hot and hope for the best, or ease off and ease out. It's all big oversteer out of where Bevan Schuler came out not long ago. So Sam Tweedy looking pretty good at the moment with a 45.720. 45.720. So big shout out to Clayton and Mandy Tisdall. Had a very big off at Merry the last round, a big sudden stop. They are now down in the hospital in Dunedin. And I had a message from Mandy Tisdall today, and she said, oh, when's the live streaming starting? I said, oh, around about 10 o'clock. She said, oh, good, I've got time for a sponge bath. Now, while most people would go, oh, how good is a sponge bath? Unfortunately, she's still strapped pretty solidly to a flat hospital bed. They are looking forward to being home by Easter. So Clayton in a wheelchair, g'day to you guys. All of the thoughts of the NZJSA and indeed jet sprinters right around the world. Hoping that you guys bounce back very, very quickly indeed. So John O'Berry and Millie Simmons out on track at the moment. And John O'Berry, in his first season behind the wheel, is driving very well. And, he's just gone to... Is that the wrong way there, Dawn? So John O'Berry at that hairpin needs to come all the way back on himself. Just wondering if he's aware of the rotational error there. So John O'Berry got back on track? No, DNF there for John Berry. When he came around the hairpin, He needed to come right back on himself, and he actually took the, instead of coming around a 180 degree turn, he sort of bailed out at about 165 degrees and took the easy channel.
Yeah, well, that's right. Talking to easy channel, mate, I just jumped down there to the ramp, found out what happened to the flounder pound. As you can see, they're being pushed back in now. Bit of weed got stuck in the jet unit, so they've cleaned that out, and of course they've pushed back off the trailer, and they're having another run now. So nothing to do with nothing mechanical. So they'll get out there. Of course, teammates of the Link ECU machine. So these guys will now have one up. No competitiveness at all from coming out of that tent. As we see the girls jump out of the chute now. They'll be looking to post a good time here to get ahead of their fellow teammate that just had a DNF. So all they're going to do is stay on the track, and they'll be one up.
Yeah, one up on John O'Verry, and I tell you what, they'll love to be giving John O'Verry a bit of a ha-ha, have a look at us.
Yeah, very cautious approach. And of course we have the 10 in the field for...
Oh no, there is massive confusion between Pip Thompson and Karen Wakeland, and they look as though that they're having a bit of a discussion there, trying to work out what's gone wrong. So very tight track, and once you have your concentration level switched off because you've made a mistake, you know, the weed in the jet unit, they're back on course properly now. It's going to add plenty to the time clock. But what happens is it destroys your preparation for the lap. You go back to the trailer, then you've got to refocus again, and sometimes that can be quite difficult. But I've got a bit of a sound effect here to play for the girls. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, we have been okayed by the girls to play that. They think it is funny because, of course, they did used to race the boat called the Bitches Box, now in the Flounder Pounder. But
I'll tell you what, they'll probably wish they were back in the Bitches Box, mate. It probably would have gone a bit better. But here we have Bryce Barron and Kylie Barron all the way from...
weed in the jet unit there again.
Still weed there. Must be a big chunk down here just in front of the start-finish line. So we might have to get that looked at.
So what happens is that as they're going up the chute at full noise, any weed is starting to get pushed into that start channel, and it sort of doesn't generally float to the top as well as you might expect. So quite often it will get stuck in the jet unit, in the grill that is underneath the boat that allows the water to get in there, gets turned through the impellers, through the stator and through the water and out the nozzle. So Chewy out there just directing Bryce and Kylie Barron. No.
Tugboat Chewy's going to have to get in the water and get his feet wet again. He's just spent half an hour drying off his toes with the towel, so he didn't have to get them wet again. But he's going to be disappointed. I'll tell you what, there's going to be a few words said in the pits tonight, I can tell you, KV. You won't want to go and have a beer with him after the racing.
Chewy, this is the most exercise I think I've seen him do in 2 years.
Yeah, I actually just saw him run down the bank there, mate. I don't know if he was running or just got a bit of a stumble on, but
yeah, got the momentum.
Got a bit of momentum coming down the hill, but of course he can't hear us when he's out on the water, so we can give him as much crap as we want.
Yeah, we can get
because
stuck into him.
Nobody on the bank and the rescue crew is going to tell Chewy that we're picking on him, are you? No big show of your hands there. No one's going to tell Chewy. No, that's good. You're all on our side. Good on you. Hey, we love you, Chewy. You do a great job. Keep up the good work, mate, and we'll have the towel ready for you.
Now he's into the deeper water, but we do have Chris Rasmussen and Holly Sutherland and the locals, of course. You are at the Professionals Aqua Track, Professionals Real Estate Aqua Track here in Waitara. Chris Rasmussen, the real estate agent. So if you're looking for real estate advice, get to your local agent, speak to Sarah and Sam, or indeed Chris. Holly Sutherland doing the navigational duties. Cast our eye further across the launch ramp from here in the green boat is Sam Gray and Mike Allen. In the grey boat there is the Beaver reliever, Carl Beaver and Jay Amon. Buttercup, Daniel Reid coming down onto the launch ramp now with Jasmine Webster. So plenty of local talent here, as well as we now see Chris Rasmussen and Holly Sutherland off the trailer ready for their qualifying round number 3 run in the Group B category. 2
points shy of the Beaver reliever, mate. They will be out to get them today on their home track, that's for sure, as they make a great start no weed in the back of this jet unit, folks, as they absolutely fly off the start line, head round the top of the course. They want to keep cool, calm and collected. I asked them before racing, what do they have to do you think, to get on them? And they were just constantly saying, we've just got to beat the beaver. So,
well, I think that the way that Chris has been driving this season, being second in the overall champion, just goes to show how well he has been driving. And I think that this being his home course, he'll have plenty of opportunity over the last couple of weeks to walk around it, to check it out, to really think about what's going on. So Chris Rasmussen, this is a tidy run and a 42.172, straight to the top of the table, 42.172, great time, Group B.
Yeah, they'll be happy with that. But now, of course, facing the big screen there, you would see the beaver reliever. They'll know exactly what they've just put on the clock too. So that'll add absolutely no pressure to those guys sitting there waiting to be pushed off the trailer.
It's really interesting, the positioning of this big screen, because quite often drivers and navigators don't want to know the times that other teams have produced. And, well, you've got to have your eyes closed not to see the times that they're producing when you're sitting in the trailer, in the boat, on the trailer and looking straight at that screen. Tim and Debbie Edhouse coming down. They've got the awning over the top of their Liquid Addiction New Zealand #1 out of Ofonga. I did see Bryce Barron has taken the boat off the ramp completely from the look of things at the moment, so maybe something a little bit more than a weed issue. No, I can see a big clump of weed that actually was in somebody's hand there. So, well, that is weed off the start here, and because we haven't raced here for a couple of years, it just takes a little bit of time for the weed to get out of the track. But now it will be Sam Gray and Mike Allen coming out, the fisherman and the forestry worker.
Yeah, that's right. If you like crayfish, certainly Sam's the man to be talking to, because he's the crayfisherman all the way from the Wadded Upper Carterton. Of course, we were down there round #1. Seems like last year, in fact, KB.
Yeah, it does seem like last year.
We were down there.
December it was.
November, actually.
November.
But no, these guys will be pretty sharp. They're silent achievers, these two. They battle away, always battle away every round and come in.
Oh, that's very tight into that left-hander. When I went for a bit of a walk earlier, I'll talk about the part of the track where they've got to come through the middle. They're heading up to that area of the track now. They come back on themselves. This left-hander and into the right-hander, there is not much room to manoeuvre into there.
No, that's right.
So when you have a look from that different perspective on the track, it is frightening how close it is. They're going the wrong way. They'll need to come back and try and recorrect themselves here. Sam Gray, Mike Allen on top of that rotational error.
Of course, not only there, Davey. Sorry, mate, not only there, but you're talking about being tight. Where they're going right now, before they put the water in last night, I'd snuck down and had a look. There's a massive bit of lie of land that comes out, so they've got to go quite wide because it is quite shallow right on that corner. So, and of course, they all had a good look at that last night, so they'll know that it's pretty tight. That's why you're seeing the lines that they're going where they are.
59.410, 59.140 there for Sam Gray and Mike Allen. Of course, we've raised the water level here as the night's worn on as well, and they allow for the water that will be spat out of the track. Good design here at this track. All the water flows back in, so we shouldn't have too much water drop or water loss. But Bryce Barron and Kylie Barron now out for their run. Let's hope that the grill is clear of weed for these ones. Their last qualifying run in qualifying 2 was very, very exciting indeed. So we'll keep a very close eye on this one, because Bryce Barron was fairly rugged and all over the shop last time out.
Of course, these guys they've gone the wrong way. Rotational error for these two. They're both from Carterton as well. A farmer and a real estate agent as Kylie. So
they're back on the course rotation proper now.
Yeah, that's costly though, KB. I think, mate, that takes a lot to make that up. Once you go the wrong way, is a lot of time to make up.
We'll keep a very close eye as they split the middle at the top and go around left here. They made a bit of a meal of this last time. Bryce Barron, a lot better that time. Just eased it up, settled the boat into it. No point trying to get through an area at breakneck speed if you're not confident in it. So this will be a tidy end to the run, but that rotational error early on Cost them plenty of time, a 50.711.
Yeah, still though, but still a 50.711. Slots them into P3, obviously, but you know, we say that's an untidy run, but time-wise, that's not too bad.
Yeah, after the rotational error, to sort of pick it up like that and then just have that confidence after that rotational error is a really big deal. So Carl Beaver and Jay Amon coming out now.
Now you watch these two folks. These are the current leaders of the championship, but only some 2 points ahead of Chris Rasmussen and Holly Sutherland. These are the guys to beat. So the Beaver Reliever, they will leave absolutely nothing. Of course, the possibility of the championship for Group B being decided here at Whiteford this weekend. And they'll want to put it away with one in the bag. They might be able to just sit on the bank and watch at Wanganui, but they've got to take the top spot on the podium this week, KB.
Yeah, absolutely, because of the drop round in the overall championship this year, instead of being the best of 6 rounds, it's the best 5 out of the 6 rounds that will make up your championship points. Keeping a very close eye here on how Carl Beaver is navigating his way around this track. A little bit wide around that exit heading up the front straight, but certainly seems to have his eye in at the moment. So Carl Beaver, Jay Amon across the line, 42.643, 42.643.
Oh, that just goes to show you the difference between a rotational error and getting it absolutely right. Some 8 seconds difference between them and Bryson Kylie Barron. But, mate, that's why, I guess you can say that's why they are where they are. They are having an absolute cracker of a season this year for the PSP 2020 Jet Sprints.
And it's very interesting, as we saw Bevan Schuler roll the boat up onto the grass earlier, it doesn't take much of a misstep to end the season. We've seen plenty of that over the years. Daniel Buttercup Reid, Jasmine Webster.
Oh, come on, build me up, Buttercup, don't break my heart. Of course, you're looking after my good mate here, KV, is accommodating the man while he's in New Zealand for the this weekend. And look at that smooth transition as they come through the top of the course. They'll be looking to get up there. Of course, they've missed the last couple of rounds. Unfortunately, had a few issues with the boat, but that's okay. They're back on the water here at Waitra, and they'll be looking to put on a good performance.
Big back off into that hairpin, and Buttercup has had a very serious think about that and decided not worth throwing it in there. Is that a problem? This engine is a newly built engine, rebuilt from Tony Reid. They've got the rotation wrong as well, so Daniel Reid and Jasmine Webster just got confused. I'm not sure if they realise that they have a rotational error in there. We're keeping an eye on the girls in the tower to see if they can find their way back again. It looks like he's just trying to get Monk Industrial Supplies, the sponsors on board there, a little bit of airtime.
Yeah.
And it's a long way back from here. So Buttercup and Jasmine having a fairly in-depth conversation on where to go from here. And they still haven't sorted it out.
No, that's very unfortunate for these two. As we said, KB, they haven't been on the water that much with issues of the boat, but just another day at the office, unfortunately, for these guys. They'll go back and add to the frustration to get that back on the trailer to try and work out exactly what's gone wrong.
So they've rebuilt this engine after blowing it up at Wanganui, and Tony Reid spent a bit of time getting the engine parts out of America, and they tested out on the lake only just yesterday, and fairly confident in it. And the boat looking to go quite well. However, that rotational error, they just couldn't quite get it right, but it will be now Liquid Addiction with Tim and Debbie Edhouse from Ofonga Motors. These guys number 1 in New Zealand last year.
Yeah, and they're not happy with currently sitting third in the championship at the moment. Like we say, KB, there's a bit of work to do to catch the Beaver Reliever. Caught up with them earlier this morning, and they're definitely not happy with us sitting at the moment, albeit in third place, but they've got to, they're looking for the win today, that's for sure.
Yeah, look, very brave line into that left-hander coming back towards commentary for Tim Edhouse. Has absolutely nailed that hairpin, but he is throwing the bow of that boat over some areas where I didn't think there was going to be enough water. He's found that there is plenty of water, the left-right combination. He has that sorted out. I tell you, it's like the left-right combination, Muhammad Ali, Joe Fraser, the rumble in the jungle.
This is going to be an absolutely outstanding time for the Edhouses, of 42.668. Put your hands together on the bank, ladies and gentlemen. That's a great run from the current 1NZ of Tim and Debbie Edhouse, and they will really put the pressure now on the Beaver Reliever.
Yes, at the moment it's Chris Rasmussen, Carl Beaver, Tim Edhouse, Sam Tweedy, Bryce Barrett and Sam Gray in the qualifying round number 3 for the Group B category. So we now see our Group A boats being backed down onto the ramp, brought to you by Lucas Oils, because it works.
If we just touch on this, KV, so we've got Ollie Silverton and Jess Sitt sitting in first, Sean and Faye Rice in second, and then we've got Clayton and Mandy, who of course unfortunately took that
big hit down at Merry.
So they're out. So third places all go. Bevan and Claudia Edwards sitting on 95 points. But my wild card for the day, mate, missed it last year. Last meeting at Merry. He was at a wedding. He put his navvy in a boat. She drove absolutely superb. So I joked with him. I said, you need to move the pedals forward and give Donna the reins. But watch out for Cy Gibbon in this round, folks. And he's my wild card to take out the day today, KV. So the Novus class boat of Cy Gibbon and Donna Thompson, they've got the monies on for them, mate.
Well, there you go. As we see Tim Betts and Joe Kapua and the Violent Tendencies, we are now Group A racing. So Betsy just taking it easy in the first couple, now starting to pick up the pace, and they have done a little bit of work to this boat to try and drag a bit more horsepower out of it. Certainly not the big funded team like some of these other guys, so they haven't got that massive budget to throw at it. But not bad around that hairpin. You'll see a lot of guys just dip the bow of the boat in there, the port bow, throwing a lot of water up over the bow and into the face of driver and navigator, and Tim Betts has just gone the wrong way. Needs to go back and recorrect himself for mine.